and author of the brand new fabulous book, Fear Itself.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I mean that, it's bedside right now. So talk to me about the past and the present and the future with Kamala Harris, because I know you're really looking into this.
Yeah, it's hard. We have to guess because she's like a ghost, right? She morphs around.
Is she ghosting
I
us?
love
Yeah,
Tammy
we sometimes
Bruce.
see her, sometimes we don't. I think that, and Hillary Clinton said this once when the left was getting mad at her because of things she was saying. She said, "Don't listen to what I say. Watch what I do." And when Biden was elected, they said a lot of things that just were wildly not true, but we wouldn't know until we elected them, like he was going to be a uniter and that things were going to return to normal. Now, I guess then this catastrophe is normal for the Democrats. So here we've got a woman who, when we think about, watch what they've done, her actions have been to abolish private health care. That's what socialists do. Putting your health care completely in the hands of government gives them complete control of your lives. And ask yourself this: do you want the people who delivered the COVID debacle to us to be in charge of all of your health care? It was one thing, you might lose your job if you didn't get the vaccine. What if you would lose your health care? You would lose everything. Do you want the people who run the trains, the public trains in the country, to be in charge of your health care, who are in charge of the DMV, who are in charge of the post office ostensibly, and in charge of, right now, Medicare? And then you've got these arguments from Newsom and Democrats in general that illegal aliens, that everyone in this country, regardless of how they've gotten here, also should have Medicare, should have health care. If you think it's difficult to get an appointment now, you will never.
There you go.
So it's not just about affordable health care. We want that. By the way, at one KFF, a think tank, writes, just from March of this year, half of U.S. adults say it's difficult to afford health care costs. And 1 in 4 say they or a family member in their household has problems paying for health care. Too bad over 10 years ago we didn't have a thing called the Affordable Health Care Act, because this now has moved us into a framework where I think they believe Americans just don't want to deal with it. It'll be more affordable. You will be paying for it with taxes that's not from the money tree in Washington. And good luck getting an appointment, but then there is the quality of care issue.
So
Quality of care.
let's talk about that for a second. We have people coming from different countries, and some of them, maybe they've got, some decent health care, or they've had access to any. Many of them coming across the border, though, illegally especially, don't have that in their recent past.
Correct.
And they're anticipating having it now. That means everybody needs a full checkup. They possibly need vaccinations for things that we haven't seen in this country actively, like polio and TB and those things. It's not that we never have them. It's just that they're not a problem for us right now in high numbers. So we're going to have to vet that. Oh, wait a minute. We don't vet. So how are you going to vet their health care? I don't want to put this all on illegals coming into the country, though. We couldn't handle this during the pandemic.
Sure, exactly.
I mean, we had a hard enough time getting people to come in, coupled with a sidebar of all of the things that we normally need to have as preventive care. That stuff got, even cancer patients didn't get their preventive or a regular check or some of the treatment that they needed. We know that from all of our reporting.
That's the excess deaths now after COVID. People who ignored things, did not go into the doctor's office, or didn't have enough time. That's all of the problem. And obviously, no one in this country is turned away for health care. But this is why emergency rooms are jammed. This is why we see trauma centers closing. It's about what can you handle with the government doling out a few dollars to you. Doctors who would maybe become doctors, but instead become lawyers or go into business, which is fine.
You bring up a good point. A lot of people left the field.
Correct. So just look at where this has been applied around the world. This is not a new idea. It has collapsed around the world. Look at England, look at Canada, and it's a problem. It does not work. But if you want government with all power, you give them the power of your health care.
Wow.
And that's what this is. It fails, and they know it, but they think, we're just pawns. We're just pawns.
You hear Obamacare, but even he didn't go that far.
Oh, but that was just one step. Having come from the left, everything is multiple steps, training people to accept this, knowing it would remain unaffordable, and then having a bad economy. It's like, well, wouldn't it be great to not have to have a premium?
Oh, that's interesting.
Wouldn't it be great to not have that part in my budget? But it's a trick. They know what this is. Just look around the world. There is no functional, successful, socialized healthcare. they may have a budget that looks a little better, but people do not get a really good health care.
Well, quality was what you were talking about.
Quality.
And we have an aging population. I mean, we've got north of 55% of the people who are going to be moving into the later stages of their healthcare lives. We want the best for everybody. I'm one of them, by the way.
We do.